Disney has announced that their Disney Plus streaming service will include their entire catalog of Disney movies, shorts, and television shows fairly soon after launching. What does this look like, and what does it mean for the long famous Disney Vault? But before we begin talking about this topic, here's a word from our sponsors.
And today's video is sponsored by Mailpranks. Mailpranks is the absolutely hilarious store where you can find all of your prank needs. Their signature items are the prank postcards, which include President Obama fan clubs, thank you for joining, the Donald Trump fan club, and little inappropriate gags like this item, which I happen to like, but I don't think I can actually say what it is because I don't want the video to be demonetized. Mailpranks accepts all different kinds of currency and also offers free shipping worldwide. Use the code in the description below to save 20% off your first order.
Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur, and Disney Plus is a streaming service of which we know a lot about and yet very little of. We know that it's going to primarily be Disney properties. That's obvious. We also know it is likely to have Star Wars and Marvel movies on the same service. We suspect it will cost a little bit less than Netflix and Hulu because it's relatively new. We know there is an original Star Wars series that is being developed for the platform, as well as an original Marvel animated series and a live-action Lady and the Tramp movie, a film that normally would have gone straight to theaters first, then DVD and Blu-ray, and then streaming will instead be going straight to streaming. Other than that, we know very little about what is really going to be on there or how it's going to work. One thing we do know, though, is that it will supposedly have the entire Disney catalog. According to Bob Iger, in response to a question asking about the library of Disney's older films, Iger explained that at some point, fairly soon after launch, Disney Plus will house the entire Disney motion picture library. So the movies that have traditionally been kept in a vault and have been brought out basically every few years will be on the service. This led to a lot of people to speculate what this meant for the famous Disney Vault. For those of you who are not aware of what the Disney Vault is, because the term hasn't been used quite as frequently as recently, the Disney Vault is a release schedule that Disney has where basically they release a movie for a few months on DVD, Blu-ray. Sometimes there's even a brief theatrical run before that. It'll be released for a few months. You've got a limited amount of time to buy it. And then it goes in the vault for 7 to 10 years, and then it gets re-released again. This has been an absolutely brilliant marketing strategy from Disney because their films have, for the most part, always been in demand, have rarely been discounted with a few exceptions, and it's just been a winning formula for the Disney company, and it has lasted them for well over 70 years, ever since Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, when Walt Disney himself, or really Roy Disney, came up with the idea that they were going to re-release Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs during World War II because they did not have funds to make too many new movies, and there had been an entire generation of kids who had never seen Snow White. The result being a movie that had already made a lot of money, making a whole lot more money, and thus the idea of the Disney Vault was born. The idea is so prevalent, in fact, that even though we have a live-action Dumbo coming out, and a live-action Aladdin coming out, and a live-action Lion King coming out, you typically can't buy these movies in the store. They are in the Disney Vault, locked away, and you just can't buy them. And even though it seems like it would make for a great marketing opportunity, hey, the new Dumbo movie's coming out next week. You want to see the original? Go buy the original. You can't do it because Disney has stuck to their gun on the Disney Vault. And with this recent comment by Iger, how the whole library is going to be up on the Disney Plus streaming service, the question has come up. Is this the end of the Disney Vault? Well, what's important is to discuss what was said and what wasn't said. The first thing that we obviously need to acknowledge is that, yes, he did use the term that movies typically within the vault would be on the service soon. All of them. So that's pretty definitive. All those animated classic movies, which I don't think you can see on my shelf right now, are going to be on the Disney Plus streaming service. However, he did not say that's going to be the end of the Disney Vault. In fact, he really didn't comment on the status of the Disney Vault very much beyond this initial announcement. He also didn't say that all the movies that were going to be up out of the vault and on the service fairly shortly after the service launched, he didn't say that they were going to be there indefinitely. The thing about the Disney Vault is that it is such a brilliant marketing idea, has made Disney so much money, and has been so effective that to kill it almost seems counterproductive for Disney. What I think is going to more likely happen is, I think at first when the service launches, you will see almost everything on the site because they need to lure you into the service. They need to convince you to pay for the service. In some cases, they need to convince you to cancel your Netflix account in favor of the Disney Plus service. So they will put what they can on the service, but early comments stated that it will be cheaper than most services because they won't have a lot of content on there. Which is a strange thing to say because this is Disney. They have decades of content, decades, old Disneyland specials, DuckTales, the Disney Afternoon, One Saturday Morning, movies, live actions, television specials that have not aired for years. They have so much stuff that can just poof, go on the service. So what did they mean by they don't have a lot of content? To me, the answer seems pretty obvious. They're talking about original exclusive content just for the Disney Plus streaming service. I think all this archive stuff is going to go up and it's all going to be readily available at first, but as more exclusive content comes up, I think you will start seeing a cycle rotation of Disney classic content. Case in point, let's talk about Amazon Prime. Now, I am not a fan of Amazon, therefore I do not have Amazon Prime. Any series they make, I will gladly say I steal, although if they make it available on DVD or Blu-ray, I do purchase it. But here's the thing. Amazon has a lot more content you can see, but not all of it is free. A certain amount of it is included in your Prime membership, otherwise you have to buy it. Additionally, aside from what you're paying for the subscription. Now, if you have the subscription, it's cheaper. If you don't have the subscription, it's like $1 or $2 more. But I suspect this is where streaming is truly going. A certain amount of stuff that you see will be free, it will be part of the package, it will be part of the buffet, and then there'll be certain things that are so popular or so high in demand that, you know what, you're just gonna have to pay additionally for it. And I think that's going to be the future of the Disney Vault on Disney Plus. I think at first it will all be in the package, but at some point it will either be cycled out and you'll either have to pay additionally to see it until the time comes for it to be out of the vault, or they might even cycle it out and it will become unavailable for a period of time. Because if the Disney Plus streaming service starts getting a bunch of new movies, a bunch of new TV series, a bunch of stuff that was never meant to be cycled out in the first place, at some point that might be enough to where at some point Disney will look and it's like, you know what? We're taking Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs off the service for 7 years. In 7 years, it'll come back. And what's kind of genius about this is that, first of all, yeah, you keep the Disney Vault alive, but you kind of encourage people to always have it subscribed and to always be engaged with the Disney Plus app because things might not be there forever. They might even put things on the service and stay up front. You have until this date to watch it, and then it's going in the Disney Vault. And then there will be certain things that are made exclusively for the Disney Plus streaming service that will just simply never go away. This is what I think is ultimately going to be the future of the Disney Vault. I think it's going to be temporarily put on hiatus, yes, as they get people to sign up for the Disney Plus streaming service. But in the long run, it's coming back. I'd be willing to bet money that the Disney Vault is coming back in some form or another. Disney movies simply have that power. Here's another thing to consider. The re-release of The Lion King in movie theaters typically makes a lot of money, and it wouldn't do so if it was available all the time. there will come a time Disney will want to re-release The Lion King in theaters, and so to make you buy a ticket for The Lion King again, they will not want it on the Disney Plus streaming service, and thus it simply won't be there. Now, of course, people had other questions about this announcement, because when Iger said the whole catalog will be on the Disney Plus streaming services, does that include wartime shorts? Does that include the 3 Caballeros? Does that include an uncensored version of Fantasia or the very elusive Song of the South? You know what? I've got some opinions on those. We will talk about them in another video next week. In the meantime, what do you say? Do you think Disney's going to give up the Disney Vault? Would you be interested in a Disney Plus streaming service that did not have all of your Disney movies on 24/7? And if this information was known to you, would you still buy the discs even if you could stream it as part of the package, albeit for a very temporary amount of time? I would love to know. So comment below. Like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy my videos, consider becoming a Patreon member. It's totally optional, of course, but even as low as $1 a month goes a long way to helping the channel run smoothly, and you get access to my Patreon exclusive blog. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.